Hey guys, it's late. It's probably about to rain soon, and I'm outside on a dock because I lack common sense, and I should probably do that at least once a week. I mean, I suppose you could probably say that I have, by, well, just transporting myself to places, but I feel like there's kind of a difference between going outside and just being outside as a consequence of outside being between indoor spaces. I'm not sure if that really makes sense or if that sounded scripted, but, sorry if either of those things are the case. Which, but by the way, I promise I don't write anything in preparation for these things. I just it's kind of like when I have real life conversations. I'll tend to think out what I'm gonna say like beforehand, almost like writing a script internally, even if I don't actually intend to like put any serious preparation into anything. But regardless, it's been kind of a difficult day today, although I'm in a better mood than yesterday. I'm just more tired. And I say difficult, relatively speaking. I mean, it's not like I just got a job as a fucking coal miner, but just compared to what I'm accustomed to dealing with. But by the way, I feel like that does sort of annoy me when like you're irritated, or like you're talking about how, just, I don't know, something's difficult for you, and people are like, dude, suck it up, man. There's some people that blah, blah, blah. There are people starving in Africa. Like, okay, yes, I understand that there are situations that are objectively more difficult than what I'm doing, but it's kind of you need to approach it from the perspective of what you're actually conditioned to or what you're accustomed to. Like, for someone like me who is literally, like, I mean, I'm not the weakest person to exist. Like, I do judo, I've done wrestling and stuff like that, but, like, comparatively, like, globally speaking, I'm probably a fucking pussy. Like, I have, been coddled by modern society for certain. But, so it's the kind of thing where, if you put something like that into perspective, then it really just, I don't know, I feel like it's just kind of a stupid argument to make in general. But, I don't know. Anyway, if you're curious at all to know why the day ended up being so difficult, it's because, as you know, I ended up having a project that I had to work on yesterday, which actually I was, surprisingly pleased with. The acting was a little bit more hammy than I'd really intended to, but I mean, overall, the class seemed to like it, and if I gained any, subscribers from that, then what's up, guys, I appreciate you. But yeah, so then after that happened, then I also had 2 different tests in 2 different classes today, one of those being a calculus test. So basically, I had a college classroom level, like, okay, maybe that's a stretch. It wasn't easy. It was an endeavor to get through the day. But I'm doing okay now. I remember there was something interesting that happened today, actually. Aside from the projects, which I don't know if I might talk about those. But there was thankfully, when my Spanish class, which I didn't want to take, but I had to take, because apparently colleges will judge you if you do not, or I think it's a requirement. But thankfully it was merciful today in that we weren't actually doing anything substantial. But what ended up happening was, the reason why we weren't doing any substantial work in that class was because, essentially, there was like a dance party going on, so they were playing cultural, I guess it was sort of like supposed to be a cultural experience, so they gathered everyone, not in the auditorium, but in front of the auditorium, and, well, just what you think. They played music on, like, I don't know if it was like a DJ station, but they had kind of a setup here, and, like, people were dancing, but some people were not, and I was one of them. And if you want to know why I was not dancing, it is because I cannot dance. Like, hang on, let me, I'm not sure, I need to demonstrate this for you guys, and just, put that there. Can I get that to stand up? Alright, cool. Here? Yes, I can. Alright, I don't need those, I'm not gonna pole dance. Alright, this is my attempt at dancing. I'm just gonna try to let go and, just kind of let the imaginary music flow through me, alright? Ooh, I don't, like, what do people do when they dance? It's not, no. So, yeah, after witnessing that, unfortunate experience, you can probably understand what I'm getting at. So I didn't want to subject my peers to that sort of thing, even though I just subjected all of you guys to that. It's not even so much that it's not viewable. I mean, looking over the footage, I'm probably not gonna hate myself for doing it. It's the kind of thing that I don't want to do in the presence of people, even if I'm okay with people seeing it in a vacuum. Like, does that make sense? It's kind of, I'm not gonna go there. Okay, but regardless, so that was just, I was one of the people who was just committed to not partaking in the festivities, as it were, which is kind of a shame, honestly, because I do like the idea of dancing. It's just kind of like I'm not physically capable of it. You've seen this demonstrated, and even if it does, like even if it does look like something that could be enjoyable theoretically, I mean, I'm sure people who do it, like, I'm going on about nothing, but regardless, the point I'm trying to make here, though, is no, I wasn't the only one either. There was kind of I guess a little section of the crowd that was similarly minded to me, and that they were just like, fuck this shit, like, I'm not gonna bother with this. But so we were just our own little thing, and usually you respect the wishes of those people, because the reality is those are the kind of people that, as aforementioned, just should not be dancing anyway. But the teachers who organized this were just it almost seemed like they were getting angry with us for not dancing, like, because the rest of the people were kind of in a group, which was like pretty much all of the Hispanic kids and a few of the white ones, and then the teachers were kind of coming up to like the wall of people who just wholeheartedly refused to partake in this, and we're like, come on, guys, we're supposed to be dancing, like, dude, like, it was the sentiment was seriously like, dance, goddammit, like, it was they weren't quite that angry about it, but it was almost the level of that. And fuck, what was I gonna... Alright, but at one point they threatened us too. They didn't threaten us with like bodily harm. That makes it sound a lot worse than it was, but it's a fucking plane. That's why I shouldn't do vlogs outside. Any day now. Okay. Sorry about that. But no, like, they basically were like, listen, the point here is to dance. We can dance, or we can go back inside. It's like, they're literally trying to, like, bribe us into dancing. And it was funny, too, because I don't know why, I just find the idea of, like, making dancing a mandatory thing, like, just to be really funny, because they were so serious about it, too. Like, dancing is supposed to be more of a leisure activity. And I find it oddly appropriate, too, because, the test that I ended up taking today was actually about, wait, no, that didn't... It was about political parties and, voting rights, which is not as related to what I was about to talk about as I thought it was, but voting rights is tangentially related to the thing that we were talking about in government not that long ago, so I'm gonna run with it. We were talking about compulsory voting not that long ago, and I remember the argument that I made against compulsory voting was that the wisdom of the group is not really going to be that heavily contributed to if you make people vote that don't want to. Like, they're essentially just, the decisions are not going to be well thought out. They're not going to contribute to the group wisdom simply because they refuse to be not ignorant. That's just not a thing that they're going to. It's kind of like when you make homework mandatory, but a lot of kids don't do it anyway, or they do it, but there's no effort behind it. Like, it's kind of futile when you really think about it. But I almost feel like the same argument could be presented against compulsory dancing, I guess, in this case. Like, listen, whether it's dancing or voting that you're talking about, if you make them compulsory, then people are going to do them terribly. And that was okay. So yeah, it's getting a little bit darker, and I believe I've ran through all the things I wanted to say, but make sure to like if you did and hit that subscribe button, and yeah. Oh, one quick thing, I don't know if I mentioned this in another video, but I'm gonna be releasing gameplay commentary of Shadow of Mordor, not Shadow of Mordor, that's the older game, Shadow of War, and kind of get like my first impression on it, because I just got it this Tuesday and I haven't played it yet. So stay tuned for that, and yeah. I forgot to talk about this. There is a fucking tree here that literally, like, it got knocked over by Irma. It is just blocking this entire fucking strip of land that I need to use to actually transport myself here and from the lake. I had to climb over this piece of shit to get out here, so I hope you appreciate the effort I go to change the scenery for you people. Nah, honestly, I kind of saw it as a challenge. Also, it is raining now, fuck. But,